Whoa, 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 whoa. Who are you? Yeah, I don't think so, man. Well, now that he's gone, let's start this edition of Rob's Arcade. On this episode, we're going to take a trip down to Bikini Bottom and spend some time with Spongebob Squarepants' best friend, Patrick Star. I'm going to teach all of my Player 2s how to draw Patrick using only easy-to-draw simple shapes, and when we're done with that, we're going to fire up the Xbox One and play a video game featuring not only Patrick Star and SpongeBob, but a lot of other Nicktoons characters in the Classic Game Showcase. So let's check our supplies, and we can get started with our art class.
Okay, Player 2s, let's start drawing Patrick Star. We're going to use the same process we always use. Step 1, that's the guideline step. We're going to take our pencils and we're going to press very lightly in the step. Eventually we're going to have to go in and we're going to erase all of our pencil lines. So if you draw too thick or press too hard with your pencil, it's going to be pretty tough to erase them. You might rip your paper and make a little bit of a mess. So the first thing that we're going to do with our drawing, again very lightly, is in the center of our paper, we're going to draw a very, very big circle. Inside of that circle, starting at the bottom, right about here, we're going to draw a slightly curved line that extends through the circle close to the top of our paper. After that, we're going to draw, starting about here, a triangle with a little bit of a curved top and bring it down to about there. Speaking of triangles, we're going to draw another triangle with a curve at the end right about here. And the same thing over here, starting right there, going through a little bit and going through around there. Down about here, we're going to draw a little curve that goes through here. I'm going to actually extend the original circle a little bit more on the bottom. And then we're going to draw another curve right about here. So as you can see, our image is already starting to take shape. You can tell that this is the top of Patrick's head, these are his arms. We're going to do his legs, and then we're going to start adding more details and stuff. His eyes, his mouth, the rest of his face. Start finishing up our Patrick project. Square there. Square there. And two curved triangles at the bottom. 1 and 2. Now we're going to start adding details. Starting right about here where the curved line is, we're going to do one big circle. And we're going to have another big circle right next to it. These circles are going to overlap a little bit, but we're going to try to make them both the same size. Inside those circles are two smaller circles. Again, Player 2s, I apologize if I'm moving a little bit too fast. As I always say, the great thing about this being on YouTube is that you can pause, you can rewind, you can do whatever you need to do to work at your own speed. So let's continue by drawing Patrick's mouth. So starting right about here, where these two lines meet, we're going to draw a curve, then another curve, that just curves up a little bit, a small curve here, a kind of a backwards letter C right there, and kind of a letter M inside of his mouth for his tongue. For his eyebrows, one thick line here, one thick line there, with a little line in the middle, one thick line here, one thick line here, with a little line in the middle there. We're going to draw his belly button, which is a letter U, kind of stretched out, with a smaller letter U, inside of it. I'm going to draw a little pattern on his shorts. So it is a curve, another curve there in the front. Again, that's kind of by where the guideline originally went. And then over here on the back, a little curve and then extended through his leg. Up at the top of his head, where this curved point is, we're just going to kind of go over that and change the shape just a little bit by adding a little curve here, so that when we actually ink over our project, this is going to be one completed shape. And there you have it, Player 2s. We've just drawn Patrick in step 1. Now all we need to do is take our black felt tip pen or black magic marker and ink over only the lines that are necessary. So at this point right now, these guidelines that go through this middle of this body, the little curves here and stuff, we're not going to need those. So I'm going to ink over everything really quick so you can see exactly what we're talking about, because we're actually going to try to make this into like one shape. Alright, ready, Player 2s? Here we go. There you have it, Player 2s. We've just completed our drawing of Patrick Star. Now give the ink a few minutes to dry, then take your eraser and erase all of the pencil lines, leaving only the ink lines. At that point, you can color this drawing, you can do whatever you want with it. I had a lot of fun with this one, Player 2s, and I can't wait until the next class.
On this edition of the Classic Game Showcase, we're going to take a look at NIckelodeon Kart Racers for the Xbox One. At a glance, this title appears to be a clone of Mario Kart featuring Nicktoon characters, but after further inspection, well, that's exactly what it is. But you know what? That's not necessarily a bad thing, as NIckelodeon Kart Racers is a fun game, despite its flaws. Anyone familiar with Mario Kart will be able to pick up and play this game almost instantly, and if you've never played Mario Kart, this racing game is extremely easy to learn. Gameplay consists of players racing each other on a variety of different tracks, with a racer who is in first place after 3 laps being declared the winner. Random power-ups can be collected throughout each race, which can either help a player gain or maintain the lead. Coins can also be collected during each race as well, and can be used in the game shop to purchase vehicle upgrades. These upgrades really don't add much, as each vehicle essentially controls the same, but it's nice to have the option to customize your vehicle. Controls on the karts are very responsive, and the vehicles are a lot of fun to drive, and up to 4 players can play simultaneously via local multiplayer, but some gamers will be disappointed that this title lacks the option of online multiplayer. And that's not the only thing that may disappoint some gamers, as one of the biggest selling points of this title is actually its biggest flaw. Fans of Nicktoons programs like Spongebob, Hey Arnold, Rugrats, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will love playing as characters from these shows, but unfortunately this game only ships with 12 characters with no option to expand the roster in the game shop or via DLC. Overall, the character selection options are a bit lackluster considering the number of characters Nickelodeon has at their disposal. NIckelodeon Kart Racers is a fun yet bare-bones title that fans of the source material may enjoy, but its lack of gameplay modes, online multiplayer, and a slim character selection may turn off more experienced gamers. This title spawned 2 sequels, which are a notable improvement over the original title, as both games feature a larger number of characters to select and a greater variety of tracks to race on. If you're a fan of the Mario Kart titles but don't own a Nintendo console to play them on, NIckelodeon Kart Racers may scratch the racing itch for a little while, but despite having good intentions, this title is merely a watered-down version of the popular Nintendo series. While not a bad title, I can really only recommend this game to die-hard Nicktoons fans. Till next time.